The desperate struggle. The war was not going well for the Galactic Alliance. The Juran, an advanced and ruthless alien species, had been advancing faster than anyone had expected. 7 systems had been lost in the last 3 weeks. Now, Captain Tlock's cruiser, the Stellar Avenger, had been cut off from the main force and engaged in a running battle for days. Ammunition for the mass cannons had run dry a week ago, and the fuel for the combat engines was dangerously low. One more engagement, and the ship would have nothing left but angry words and hateful glares. The only advantage the Alliance had was their faster-than-light travel, FTL technology, which was leagues ahead of the Juran. However, that advantage was nullified when the Juran launched an EMP attack that damaged the navigation computers and long-range communications. Captain Tlock had been forced to perform an unguided jump, limiting the ship to 1 system at a time for safety. "Captain," came the rasping voice of the chief engineer, "we've got it. Navigation is back online, and the communication relay has been replaced." Tlock breathed a sigh of relief. "Thank the gods. Establish communications with the fleet as soon as possible." "Already on it, sir," barked out a junior officer. "I'm getting a repeating message with Admiral Corrin's ID code." "Its coordinates, sir." "That has to be a rendezvous location." "Fire up the FTL and make for that location," Tlock ordered. "Aye, sir." The repaired navigation computer made quick work of the 50-light-year jump. Soon, Tlock observed a sight both relieving and distressing. The fleet, or what was left of it, was in bad shape. Even the Admiral's flagship had not emerged unscathed, with a large gouge out of the port side, and one of the starboard nacelles missing entirely. Other vessels were warping in from wherever they had run after the EMP crippled the fleet. "Incoming message, sir." "Connect it." A screen popped up before the captain, showing the slightly grainy image of the Admiral. Tlock jumped to attention. "Sit, Tlock, please. No need for ceremony. I'm glad to see you. The Avenger is one of only 3 cruisers that has arrived so far." Tlock's 2 hearts skipped a beat. They had launched with 12. "Condition of the rest of the fleet, sir," he requested. "Bad. 30 ships too crippled to fight, 25 ships at 0 ammunition, and 4 ships dead in space. They ran out of fuel getting here, and there is still more than half of the fleet unaccounted for." The sheer numbers staggered the captain. "Orders, sir." "We still have some juice for our lasers." "Good to know. Take point with the Vanguard, Captain. Orders from HQ are to stand by here for reinforcement and resupply." "Out here, sir." "The nearest friendly starbase is at least 20 systems away." "Those are your orders, Captain. Guard the fleet." "Aye, Admiral." The screen blinked out of existence as the captain ordered his ship into position to lead the few ships capable of protecting the crippled fleet. 2 hours later, a new signal appeared, transiting out of warp. "It's big, sir. Over 100 million tons." The entire bridge shuddered. The flagship of the fleet was only 10 million tons. "Target the enemy." A futile gesture, to be sure, but by the gods, Tlock would not go down without a fight. "Hold fire, sir. I have a friendly IFF ping." "Impossible. The Alliance doesn't have a ship that size." "The ship registration says the vessel is human, sir." "Humans," exclaimed Tlock's second-in-command. "What are they doing here?" "The nearest human outpost is 300 light-years away." "That's what the register says, sir." "The humans aren't even part of the Alliance." The second-in-command whined. "They are not our enemies either, number 2. I will not reject help, no matter the source. But, sir, in the last war, they outnumbered and outgunned us." "Do not test my knowledge of history, number 2. The humans defeated us in a mere 3 months, but they were also honorable. Any ship that surrendered was towed to a repair station, and the crew were kept in very reasonable confinement until negotiations for peace were made. All the human prisoners were released without exception. I doubt you would receive such a deal from the Juran." The second-in-command wisely shut his mouth. Suddenly, A cry came from the communications officer. "Sir, incoming message from the human ship. Patch it to the main screen." The display screen before the bridge showed a moment of static before a human with long hair appeared, showing off many of its teeth. "Hello, and thank you for using Alpha Centauri Logistics Services. My name is Heather. How can I help you today?" The human declared in a bright and happy voice, never losing their smile. The bridge crew was caught off guard by the cheerful greeting. Even Tlock was taken aback for a moment before his mind grasped onto a word that made sense in this situation. "Logistics. So you're here to resupply us?" "That is correct, sir. Now, let's get started." A new hope. As the human ship moved into position, the Alliance fleet watched in awe. The U.S. Black Star was a marvel of human engineering, dwarfing even the largest of the Alliance vessels. It was not just its size that was impressive, but the sheer number of support ships and drones that accompanied it. These smaller vessels quickly began to fan out, delivering much-needed supplies and equipment to the beleaguered Alliance ships. "Captain Tlock," Heather's voice came through the comms, "we have a full complement of supplies, including ammunition, fuel, and medical equipment. We also have repair drones that can assist in getting your ships back to operational status." Tlock could hardly believe their luck. "This is incredible. How did you know we needed help?" "We've been monitoring the situation in this sector for some time. Our analysts predicted that the Duran would make a move against the Alliance, so we prepared for the possibility that our assistance might be needed." Tlock nodded. "Your timing couldn't be better. We were on the verge of collapse." Heather's image on the screen nodded sympathetically. "We're here to help. Our drones are already at work, and we'll have your fleet back to fighting strength in no time." As the resupply operations continued, Tlock took a moment to reflect on the humans. They were a paradox, technologically advanced yet approachable and friendly. Despite their past conflicts, the humans had come to their aid in a time of need, proving that alliances could be forged in the most unexpected of circumstances. "Captain," Heather interrupted his thoughts, "we've also brought a tactical team that has been analyzing Duran strategies. They believe they have identified key weaknesses that we can exploit." Tlock's interest was piqued. "Go on." "The Duran rely heavily on their EMP attacks to disable enemy fleets. However, our engineers have developed countermeasures that can neutralize these attacks. We've equipped our ships with these countermeasures, and we're ready to share them with you." Tlock's two hearts raced with excitement. This could be the breakthrough they needed. "Thank you, Heather. This could turn the tide of the war." Heather smiled. "That's the plan, Captain. We're stronger together. Let's show the Duran what we can do." With the supplies and countermeasures in place, the Alliance fleet began to take on a renewed sense of purpose. The repairs progressed rapidly, and soon the ships were ready for battle once more. The human engineers and tactical experts worked closely with the Alliance crews, sharing knowledge and strategies that would give them an edge in the upcoming battles. As the fleet prepared for their next move, Admiral Corrin called a meeting of the senior officers. Tlock and Heather were among those in attendance. The Admiral's image appeared on the screen, looking grim but determined. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, "we are about to embark on a mission that could change the course of this war. The humans have provided us with the tools and knowledge we need to fight back against the Duran. It's time to put that to use." Heather stepped forward. "Our analysts have identified a key Duran outpost that coordinates their EMP attacks. If we can take it out, we'll cripple their ability to disable our fleets." Admiral Corrin nodded. "This will be a joint operation. The humans will lead the assault, with the Alliance providing support. We'll hit them hard and fast, and with any luck, we'll catch them off guard." The plan was set, and the fleet moved into position. The U.S. Black Star took the lead, its massive bulk a reassuring presence among the smaller Alliance ships. As they approached the Duran outpost, the tension on the bridge was palpable. "Prepare for battle," Tlock ordered. "This is our chance to strike back." The fleet emerged from hyperspace, weapons primed and ready. The Duran outpost loomed ahead, a formidable structure bristling with defenses. But this time, the Alliance had the advantage. The humans' countermeasures neutralized the EMP attacks, allowing the fleet to move in unimpeded. "Fire at will," Tlaloc commanded. The battle was fierce, but the combined might of the human and Alliance fleets proved too much for the Juran outpost. As the structure crumbled under the onslaught, a cheer went up from the bridge. "We did it," Heather said, her voice filled with triumph. "The Juran are on the run." Tlaloc nodded. "This is just the beginning. Together, we will drive them back and secure our future." The turning point. With the destruction of the Juran outpost, the tide of the war began to turn. The Alliance, bolstered by the human reinforcements, launched a series of successful offensives against the Juran forces. Each victory brought them closer to reclaiming the systems they had lost. Captain Tlaloc and his crew played a crucial role in these operations. The Stellar Avenger, now fully resupplied and equipped with the human countermeasures, led many of the key assaults. The ship's crew, inspired by their newfound allies, fought with renewed vigor and determination. One of the most critical battles took place in the Valter system, a strategically important region that had been under Juran control for months. The Alliance fleet, led by Admiral Corrin and supported by the U.S. Black Star, prepared for a decisive engagement. As they entered the system, the Juran fleet moved to intercept them. It was a massive force, but the Alliance was ready. The human countermeasures once again proved invaluable, allowing the fleet to maneuver without fear of EMP attacks. "Engage all targets," Tlaloc ordered. "We must break their lines." The battle raged for hours, with both sides suffering heavy losses. However, the Alliance's superior tactics and the human technology gradually began to tip the scales in their favor. The Juran ships, unable to disable their enemies as they had done in previous battles, found themselves at a disadvantage. As the battle reached its climax, the U.S. Black Star unleashed a devastating barrage of firepower, targeting the Juran command ship. The massive vessel shuddered under the assault, its shields flickering and failing. "Captain Tlaloc, focus all fire on the command ship," Admiral Corrin's voice crackled over the comms. "We take that out, and the rest will fall." "Aye, Admiral," Tlaloc replied. "All weapons target the command ship." The Stellar Avenger joined the Black Star in its assault, pouring everything they had into the enemy flagship. Finally, with a blinding explosion, the Juran command ship was destroyed. The remaining Juran vessels, now leaderless and demoralized, began to retreat. "Victory!" came the cry from the bridge crew. The sense of relief and triumph was palpable. Heather's image appeared on the main screen. "Well done, Captain. This is a major victory for the Alliance." Tlaloc nodded, feeling the sense of pride. "We couldn't have done it without your help." "Thank you, Heather. The war is far from over, but this is a significant turning point. The Juran will think twice before attacking us again." The victory at Valter marked a new phase in the war. The Alliance, with the continued support of the humans, launched a series of counteroffensives that steadily pushed the Juran back. Each victory brought new hope and strengthened the bond between the human and Alliance forces. As the battles continued, Captain Tlaloc and Heather developed a close working relationship. They spent countless hours planning and strategizing, learning from each other's strengths and perspectives. The collaboration between their teams led to innovative tactics that consistently outmaneuvered the Juran. One such tactic involved the use of decoy ships, a strategy proposed by Heather. The idea was to send a small fleet of automated drones ahead of the main force, drawing the Juran's attention and allowing the Alliance to strike from an unexpected direction. "It's risky," Tlaloc had said when Heather first proposed the idea, "but it might just work." "It will work," Heather had replied with confidence. "We just need to execute it perfectly." And execute it perfectly they did. The decoy fleet drew the Juran into a trap, allowing the Alliance to ambush them and secure another crucial victory. The success of the operation boosted morale and demonstrated the effectiveness of their partnership. As the war dragged on, The Alliance and human forces became a well-oiled machine, working seamlessly together to achieve their common goal. Each victory brought them closer to ending the Juran threat once and for all. But the Juran were not done fighting. They'd regrouped and launched a desperate counterattack, targeting a vital supply line that the Alliance depended on. The battle that followed would be one of the most challenging yet, testing the resolve and ingenuity of both human and Alliance forces. The Last Stand. The Juran's desperate counterattack took the Alliance by surprise. The vital supply line, crucial for maintaining their war efforts, was under threat. Captain Tlock and Heather quickly mobilized their forces to respond to the new challenge. "We can't let them cut off our supplies," Tlock said, his voice filled with urgency. "If they succeed, we'll be crippled." Heather nodded. "We need to act fast. I suggest we use the decoy strategy again, but with a twist. This time, we'll use the drones to lead the Juran into a trap of our own." Tlock considered the plan. "It's risky, but it might be our best shot. Let's do it." The fleet moved into position, with the U.S. Black Star and the Stellar Avenger at the forefront. The decoy drones were launched, drawing the Juran forces into a carefully planned ambush. As the Juran ships closed in on the decoys, the Alliance fleet struck from all sides. "Engage all targets," Tlock ordered. "We must protect the supply line at all costs." The battle that followed was fierce and chaotic. The Juran fought with a desperation born of their precarious situation, but the Alliance was determined to hold the line. The humans' advanced technology and the Alliance's tactical prowess proved to be a formidable combination. As the battle raged, Heather's voice came through the comms. "Captain, we've identified the Juran command ship. If we take it out, we can break their morale and force a retreat." "Understood. All ships, focus fire on the command ship." The combined firepower of the Alliance and human ships converged on the Juran command vessel. The enemy ship shuddered under the onslaught, its shields failing and hull breaching. With a final, massive explosion, the Juran command ship was destroyed. A cheer went up from the bridge crew. "We did it," Tlock exclaimed. "The supply line is secure." Heather's image appeared on the main screen, her expression one of relief and triumph. "Well done, Captain. This victory ensures that we can continue our fight against the Juran." The destruction of the Juran command ship marked a turning point in the battle. The remaining Juran forces, leaderless and demoralized, began to retreat. The Alliance had successfully defended the vital supply line, securing their ability to continue the war effort. As the dust settled, Tlock and Heather took a moment to reflect on their journey. They had come a long way since their first encounter, forging a powerful alliance that had turned the tide of the war. The collaboration between their forces had proven to be a decisive factor in their victories. "We've accomplished a lot," Tlock said, his voice filled with pride. "But there's still work to be done. The Juran won't give up easily." Heather nodded. "Agreed. But together, we are stronger. We will continue to fight, and we will win." The bond between the human and Alliance forces continued to grow, with each battle reinforcing their unity and shared purpose. They had faced incredible challenges and emerged victorious, proving that cooperation and mutual respect could overcome even the most formidable of foes. As the war dragged on, the Alliance and human forces continued to push the Juran back, reclaiming system after system. Each victory brought them closer to their ultimate goal: peace and security for all their people. But the final battle was yet to come. The Juran, realizing that their defeat was imminent, prepared for one last desperate stand. They gathered their remaining forces at their homeworld, determined to fight to the bitter end. The stage was set for the ultimate showdown, a battle that would determine the fate of the galaxy. Captain Tlock and Heather knew that this would be their greatest challenge yet, but they were ready. Together, they would face the Juran and bring an end to the conflict once and for all. The ultimate showdown. The final battle loomed on the horizon. The Juran had gathered their remaining forces at their homeworld, preparing for a desperate last stand. The Alliance and human forces, now a cohesive and powerful unit, readied themselves for the ultimate showdown. "We've come a long way," Tlaloc said to his crew. "This is it, the battle that will decide the fate of the galaxy." Heather's image appeared on the main screen, her expression determined. "We're with you, Captain. The U.S. Black Star and the entire human fleet are ready to fight alongside you." The combined fleet moved into position, emerging from hyperspace near the Juran homeworld. The Juran forces were formidable, but the Alliance and human ships were undeterred. They had faced many challenges and emerged victorious. This would be no different. "Prepare for battle," Tlaloc ordered. "This is our chance to end the war." The fleets clashed in a titanic struggle, with ships from both sides exchanging devastating volleys of fire. The Juran fought with the ferocity of a cornered beast, but the Alliance and human forces were resolute. They had come too far to fail now. As the battle raged, Tlaloc and Heather coordinated their efforts, directing their ships with precision and skill. The human countermeasures once again proved invaluable, allowing the Alliance fleet to maneuver and strike with devastating effect. "We need to take out their planetary defenses," Heather said. "Once those are down, we can launch a ground assault and secure the Juran capital." "Agreed," Tlaloc replied. "All ships, focus fire on the planetary defense grid." The combined firepower of the fleet targeted the Juran defenses, blasting away turrets and shield generators. The Juran fought desperately to protect their home, but the Alliance and human forces were relentless. Finally, with a series of massive explosions, the planetary defense grid was destroyed. The path was clear for the ground assault. "Launch the ground forces," Tlaloc ordered. "We're going in." Dropships filled with Alliance and human soldiers descended to the surface, engaging the Juran defenders in fierce ground combat. The fighting was intense, but the combined forces pressed forward, determined to secure victory. Tlaloc and Heather joined the ground assault, leading their troops with courage and determination. They fought side by side, their bond of friendship and trust stronger than ever. As they approached the Juran capital, the resistance grew fiercer. The Juran were determined to defend their home to the last, but the Alliance and human soldiers were equally determined to bring an end to the conflict. In the final, climactic battle, Tlaloc and Heather led a daring assault on the Juran command center. They fought their way through waves of defenders, reaching the heart of the enemy stronghold. "We're almost there," Tlaloc said, his voice filled with determination. "Keep pushing." With a final, desperate effort, they breached the command center and captured the Juran leaders. The war was over. As the dust settled and the smoke cleared, Tlaloc and Heather stood together, victorious. The Juran had surrendered, and the galaxy was finally at peace. "We did it," Heather said, her voice filled with relief and joy. "The war is over." Tlaloc nodded, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. "Yes, we did. Together." The victory marked the beginning of a new era for the galaxy. The Alliance and human forces had proven that cooperation and unity could overcome even the most formidable challenges. They had forged a powerful bond, one that would ensure peace and security for generations to come. As they looked out over the liberated Juran homeworld, Tlaloc and Heather knew that their journey was far from over. There would be new challenges and new adventures, but they were ready to face them together. A new dawn. With the war finally over, the galaxy entered a new era of peace and cooperation. The Alliance and human forces worked together to rebuild the systems that had been ravaged by the conflict. The bond forged in battle now served as the foundation for a lasting alliance. Captain Tlaloc and Heather were hailed as heroes, their names celebrated across the galaxy. But they remained humble, focused on the task of rebuilding and ensuring that the peace they had fought so hard for would endure. "We've accomplished so much," Tlaloc said during a ceremony honoring the heroes of the war. "But there is still much to be done. We must work together to rebuild and create a future where all can thrive." Heather stood beside him, nodding in agreement. "The challenges we face now are different, but no less important. We must ensure that the bonds we forged in war become the foundation for lasting peace. The Alliance and human forces established joint initiatives to aid in the reconstruction efforts. They provided humanitarian aid, rebuilt infrastructure, and helped displaced populations return to their homes. The cooperation and unity that had been their strength in battle now became their strength in peace. Tlaloc and Heather took on leadership roles in these efforts, using their experience and knowledge to guide the rebuilding process. They traveled from system to system, overseeing projects and ensuring that the needs of all were met. During one such visit, Tlaloc and Heather found themselves on a planet that had been heavily contested during the war. The scars of battle were still evident, but there was also a sense of hope and renewal. "We've come a long way," Tlaloc said, as they stood on a hill overlooking a bustling reconstruction site. "This planet was once a battleground, but now it's a place of rebuilding and healing." Heather nodded. "It's a testament to what we can achieve when we work together. The future is bright, and we have the power to shape it." As they continued their work, Tlaloc and Heather also focused on strengthening the bonds between the various species of the Alliance. They promoted cultural exchange programs, educational initiatives, and joint scientific endeavors. The goal was to create a galaxy where diversity was celebrated and all beings could thrive. The Alliance and human forces also established a joint defense force, ensuring that they would be prepared to face any future threats together. The lessons learned during the war were not forgotten, and they remained vigilant, ready to protect the peace they had fought so hard to achieve. One of the most significant projects they undertook was the creation of a new interstellar academy. This institution would train the next generation of leaders, scientists, and explorers, ensuring that the legacy of cooperation and unity would continue. Tlaloc and Heather played a key role in the Academy's development, drawing on their experiences and the lessons they had learned during the war. The Academy quickly became a beacon of hope and a symbol of the new era of peace. As the years passed, the galaxy flourished. The scars of war healed, and new opportunities for exploration and discovery emerged. The Alliance and human forces continued to work together, building a future based on mutual respect and shared goals. Tlaloc and Heather, now revered as elder statesmen, continued to guide and inspire. They had forged a powerful legacy, one that would endure for generations. "We've accomplished so much," Tlaloc said during a speech at the Academy's graduation ceremony. "But our journey is far from over. The future is bright, and it is up to you, the next generation, to continue our work. Remember the lessons of the past, and always strive for unity and cooperation." Heather nodded in agreement. "The galaxy is filled with endless possibilities. Embrace them with open hearts and minds. Together, we can achieve anything." The Academy's graduates, inspired by Tlaloc and Heather's words, set out to make their mark on the galaxy. They carried with them the values of unity, cooperation, and resilience, ensuring that the legacy of the war heroes would live on. As they looked out at the stars, Tlaloc and Heather knew that the future was in good hands. They had fought and sacrificed to bring peace to the galaxy, and now it was up to the next generation to continue their work. Legacy of hope. Years passed, and the galaxy continued to thrive under the peace and cooperation established by the Alliance and human forces. The legacy of Captain Tlaloc and Heather lived on, inspiring new generations to strive for unity and mutual respect. The Interstellar Academy they had helped establish became a center of excellence, producing leaders, scientists, and explorers who carried forward the values of their mentors. The graduates went on to achieve great things, further strengthening the bonds between the various species of the Alliance. One such graduate, a young human named Alex, stood out for his exceptional leadership and dedication to the principles of unity and cooperation. He quickly rose through the ranks, earning the respect and admiration of his peers. During a mission to explore a distant star system, Alex discovered a new habitable planet. He named it Unity, in honor of the ideals that had guided him throughout his career. The discovery of Unity sparked a new wave of exploration and settlement, further expanding the reach of the Alliance. As new colonies were established on Unity, Tlaloc and Heather visited the planet to see the progress firsthand. They were greeted with warm celebrations and expressions of gratitude from the settlers, who saw them as the architects of the new era of peace. "It's incredible," Tlaloc said as they toured the bustling colony. "This planet is a testament to what we can achieve when we work together." Heather nodded, her eyes filled with pride. Unity is not just a name. It's a way of life, a guiding principle that has brought us here. The future is bright, and it's because of the efforts of people like Alex and the values we've instilled in them. As they continued their tour, Tlaloc and Heather met with the colony's leaders, sharing their wisdom and experiences. They emphasized the importance of maintaining the values of unity and cooperation, even in times of prosperity. "We must never forget the lessons of the past," Tlaloc said. "The peace we enjoy today was hard-won, and it is our responsibility to protect and nurture it." Heather added, "The future is filled with endless possibilities, but it is up to us to shape it. Let's continue to work together, embracing diversity and building a galaxy where all can thrive." Their words resonated deeply with the colony's inhabitants, reinforcing their commitment to the principles that had brought them to unity. The settlers vowed to uphold the legacy of Tlaloc and Heather, ensuring that the values of unity and cooperation would continue to guide their actions. As they looked out over the thriving colony, Tlaloc and Heather felt a deep sense of fulfillment. They had dedicated their lives to creating a better future, and now they could see the fruits of their labor. "We've come a long way," Tlaloc said, his voice filled with emotion. "But this is just the beginning. The galaxy is filled with endless possibilities, and together, we can achieve anything." Heather nodded, her eyes shining with hope. "The legacy we've built will endure. The future is bright, and it belongs to all of us." With that, they continued their journey, knowing that their work would never truly be done. There would always be new challenges and new opportunities, but they were ready to face them with courage and determination. The galaxy, united in peace and cooperation, looked to the stars with hope and optimism. The legacy of Tlaloc and Heather lived on, inspiring future generations to strive for a better, more harmonious future. And so, the story of Captain Tlaloc and Heather became a legend, a testament to the power of unity and the enduring spirit of cooperation. Their legacy would continue to guide the galaxy for generations to come, a shining beacon of hope in the vast expanse of space.